Welcome back, guys, and as you can see, all the Academy research is now done. The only ones that I've skipped are the Mega Tower levels that I won't be using, but everything else is research. Now, before I go any further, I want to talk to you about a serious education bug. Now, this is something that a lot of people, well, I say a lot, quite a few people have mentioned that their education levels drop over time. So they start off okay, attendance is good, close to 100%, if not 100%. And then over time, that drops. Now, I have put days, while I was taking my little break, I've put days of time into doing some R&D on issues like this one. And I've put more time into this than anything else. And I've actually come up with answers, and I want to show you. I want to show you the problem, explain the problem, which I'll then be forwarding to Maxis, so hopefully they can get it fixed. But I'm going to show you how to solve the problem, at least how to solve the effects of the problem, if not the underlying problem itself. So let's go to it now. Let's look at education, and as you can see here, now normally in my cities this should be 100% attendance. This should be 2,343 of 2,343. But this number has been going down steadily. Now, the reason I've managed to isolate is, and now this may not be the only reason, but this is definitely confirmed one of the reasons, and it's this bus terminal. Now I'm using the double-decker bus terminal, but it actually doesn't matter which one you use. It's not about having the European city sets version. And this may not be limited to just buses. This may be a regional transport issue. Now all I've got is this double-decker bus station, and let me open this up, and these 4 bus stops. Now I can't tell you whether it's the bus stops that are causing this problem or whether it's a regional transport issue or whatever, but what I can tell you is if you take out the bus stops and this terminal, this problem goes away. Okay, so there's still a lot of unknowns, but I can guarantee if you've got regional transport in the form of buses, then I think you're going to have this problem. And what happens is that students are being lost. They are disappearing into the ether, never to return. And I want to show you in this city, because I've created a completely reproducible situation. And in this city, over the last 12 hours, roughly, I've created this problem, seen it happen, fixed it, eliminated the problem, and then recreated the problem again, and now I want to show you the results. So let's go to the education view, bring up the education overlay, right? And okay, let me explain the situation first. So we've got low wealth up here. We've got a high wealth mega tower, few high wealth buildings. We've got 2 community colleges up here. Down here, this is all medium wealth, high density. And we've got another community college down here. Now, I've paused this at 5:55 a.m. And that's because this is a crucial time for students. Because what happens is that at 5:59, all students, which are these green bars, are converted into kids, which are unenrolled students or uneducated kids. Let's put it like that. Okay, so now what we need to be looking for is to try and explain these numbers. Okay, so we've got 1907 students enrolled, which are these green bars, and then we've got 436 students that we need to account for. Now they should be represented by these purple bars. Okay, so let's take a look around. And now everybody should be at home at this point. This is why you need to look at this at just before 5:55. Okay. Now, where can the students be? Okay. Well, all the actual students should have got home by this point. And like in these buildings, and I want to show you something. This is Maxis Guillaume's extended worker data mod again, which I love. I absolutely love this mod. If we click on a medium density residential building, it shows you how many residents there are, how many shoppers there are in that building, and how many it's got at the moment, how many it can have as a maximum, so for residents, and it shows you how many students are there, how many students can be there as a maximum. Now, at this time of day, every student and every child, every kid, should be at home, right? So every one of these buildings should be maxed, okay? So if we look at these should all have 15 students. And guess what? They do. And every single one of these has 15 students. These high density, these should have 4, right? And 4 are 4. This mega tower, now unfortunately the mod doesn't work on mega towers. I'm sure Guillaume is going to be working on that. Good old Pierre. But I happen to know that this should be 150, and guess what? It's 150. Okay. Now notice these are all green, so these are all students who've been to college, been educated, and come home. So let's go down here, and as you can see, right, these buildings should each have 50 students in. Let's click on this so you can see. So 50 students. And all of these have got 50 students until we get down into this bottom corner. Okay. Now, down here, we've got one purple kid, right? And then we've got a bunch of buildings like this has got no students in it at all. This one's got no students, no students, no students. This should have 50. It's actually got 13. Right? This has got 4. This has got 2. Okay. Now at this time of day, they should be at home. Okay, because I'll show you what happens if I run this on to 5:59, and you've got to stop it dead on 5:59. Boom, stop that. All the students change into uneducated kids. Okay. Now, if you go to 6 o'clock, they'll start going off to school. So you need to stop this at 5:59 in order to be able to see this. Okay. So every building should now be full of uneducated kids. So where are the kids that should be in these buildings? Well, the answer is they've disappeared. They've been lost. Now, I think they're disappearing off into the region and never being seen again. Whether they're going off to, like, are they going off to this city, intending to be educated and then never coming back or something? Who the hell knows? But that is definitely what's happening. I've done this like several times in several cities. Have the same situation going on over here as well, which I won't bother showing you, but I might show you later. But for now. Okay, so that's the problem. That's the situation. What the hell do we do about it? Okay, well, this is what you do about it. If you want to fix this problem, you're going to have to demolish, right? And in some cities, this is pretty simple because I've kind of engineered it so that the problem is occurring down here. But depending on the exact placement of your buildings, the placement of your colleges or your high schools or whatever you're using, these buildings can be spread out. It can happen in multiple places. It doesn't always happen in just one neatly defined area. it's a bit of a pain. But what you need to do is find the buildings that are missing students and demolish them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly that. So any building that doesn't have 50 kids in it right now has to go. So that doesn't, so that's a goner. Go, 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 go. That's only got 40. That's a go. Go, 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 go. That's 39. That's a go. So this is, I've got to say, this is a bit of a nightmare. And this is, I will be passing this on to Maxis and talking to them about it. So hopefully, you know, maybe some point in the future we'll get a fix for this, because it's a real problem. But you kind of have to check. Like, I mean, you can kind of see visually where your problems are. These are all 50, and I've actually already checked up here, and all of these are full. So what we can do now is kick this off. Right, I'm going to let these rebuild, and then we're going to take a look at these numbers. So let's just kick this off, and I'm going to let you like watch what's going on, and I'll speed it up, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we've been through 24 hours, and as you can see, we've still got some of these buildings are not fully populated. Okay. Now, I think this is to do with the timing of when you demolish these buildings. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to get rid of the bus terminal and the bus stops, so that we stop losing our students. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move one of the colleges, because there's about 1,000 people up here, and there's about 6,000 people down here, right? So it kind of makes sense to have two colleges down this end and just one college up here. It'll reduce the transit times and get better attendance. So we get rid of that one, and we put one in down. Yeah, I'm going to put it there. Okay, so that's the second thing. Now that's for attendance purposes. And I should have mentioned that when you're looking at these, when you're working out the numbers, at 5:55, before they all turn purple, to work these numbers out to see if you've got missing students, you need to count up how many purple kids you've got, right? And that number should equal the difference between these two numbers. If it doesn't, then the difference is kids that are missing. Okay, so that's kind of crucial. Now, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to let the kids actually leave the buildings. Okay, so I'm going to let them all get out of the buildings, and then I'm going to demolish the buildings on this end. Okay, so the situation is a lot better. We're down to missing about 100 131 students are missing right at this point. So let's have a look at our buildings again. Now this building's completely empty, so there's 50 that are missing. Any others that are obvious? See, this one's slightly short, so there's another 11, so there's like 61. And then if we come up here, now you've got to look for the purple ones because you've got to subtract those. So there's 3 in there. And make sure that there are no, I mean, at this time of day, all the parks are closed, so there shouldn't be any kids in the parks because they can be hiding in the parks at other times of day. Let's make absolutely, yeah, everything's closed. But see, we've got a couple of buildings up here. See, this issue does move around. It's very difficult to keep track of. So there's another 30 kids should be filling those. There's a couple, there's 5 missing there, 2 there. So a bit of a nightmare, to be absolutely honest with you. That's right, that should be 10. Okay, so again, all I'm going to do is knock down the buildings that don't have students. That one's short, that needs to go. And off we go again. Okay, so let's do a bit of math and see if we've got all of our students back now. So students not enrolled, 149. So there should be 149 purple kids. So we've got 50 there, and 17 is 67, 67, 70, 80. And then over here we've got 90. Any more anywhere? So we're still missing 59 kids. And I'm looking to see, that's, yeah, they're missing from the mega tower now, which is a nightmare because if they're missing from this, you've got to knock the whole darn thing down to get them back. It's a lot easier if it's in some of these other buildings. But on that basis, so we've got a lot of them back. I'm going to let this run on, and hopefully these guys should actually start getting educated now. Okay, so I'm going to hold it there. So we currently have 2,211 enrolled, so that's good. We've still got some kids not getting educated, and a few of them at this time will be off in the parks. Now, I've been showing you this at like 5:55 because that's the only time when all of the kids should be at home and you can see the exact you can see the exact numbers. But if you're actually trying to repopulate, the best time of day to knock the buildings down is kind of, 10, 11 o'clock at night. Like, don't ask me why, because it's complicated to explain, but I'm going to knock down a couple of buildings because I would really like to show you that you can get this back up to max. How are we doing over here? It's the fact that the mega tower is not getting a full number of kids in is a bit of a problem. It's a pain, but I'm gonna have to get rid of the stupid mega tower, which is pretty darned annoying. Let me just check the old parks and see. Yep, it's going to have to go because I want to show you guys that you can get this back to max. So let's get rid of that. Okay, so here we go. Now we're back to 2093 of 2093. Excellent. So we've actually got all of our students back. So the issue now is going to be, can we actually keep them? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish rebuilding this tower, and then we'll run it for a day or two and see if this number actually stays as it should. Okay, so it's run on for a couple of days now, so let's do the math and see how we're doing. So over here, this looks 100%. There's no purple anywhere, and all of these look like they've got 50 students in. Excellent, good. Now we're missing 50 students. Okay, so we should be expecting to find 50 purple kids. Okay, so we've got 19 in there, and 5 is 24, and 2 is 26. So we've got it down to we're only missing like 16 kids now. So we've managed to get a few hundred back. So I think you can see pretty conclusively that yeah, that's the issue. So when your numbers go down like over time, that's what's happening. Kids are just leaving or disappearing in some fashion, which, like I said, regional transport is definitely one way. There may be other ways that the kids are disappearing, but there you go. That's how you do it, and that's how you get your kids back. So, recap: check at about 5:55 a.m. That'll give you the numbers. The best time to demolish the buildings to get your students back is about 10, 11 o'clock at night. Just delete any buildings that don't have that aren't full of students, and that should get you your numbers back. You know, near as damn it. I mean, you might still have the odd few students, but hey, no, nothing's perfect, right? Okay, so I'm now absolutely sick of education, so let's get back to the old academy.